Shalom, shalom, Israel. Peace and blessings, peace and blessings. As you can see, live stream earlier today, not late, like late as usual. Um, yeah, but as you can see, the lesson of the day is learn not the ways of the heathen. And today's lesson is tied into learn not the ways of the heathen, but also how the ways of the heathen is tied into the kingdom of Nimrod in all of the ways. And the kingdom of Nimrod was the first kingdom to rebel against the Most High Yah, um, the creator of heavens and the creator of earth. From the times of Babel until now, this beast system is still around, especially in Europe, Egypt, and the Americas. The Americas built off this system of Nimrod, this beast system of Nimrod. And we're gonna go to Genesis. Genesis 15. Genesis 15 when the Most High Yah was talking to Abraham. And we'll start the 15th chapter at 13th verse. And he said unto Abraham, know for a surety that thy seed shall be a stranger in a land that's not theirs, and they shall serve them, and they shall afflict them 400 years. And also that nation whom they shall serve I will judge, and afterward they shall come out with great substances. So as you can see, it's two things that take place in that prophecy towards the Most High Yah, towards Most High Yah and his people, towards Abraham and his peoples. What the Most High Yah has said, and you can see that in the part verse 13 where it says and he said to Abraham, know for a surety, that means know for sure that thy seed shall be a stranger in the land that is not theirs. You see, and just that part right there with himself, within itself, you're gonna see whenever you're in a land that's not yours, it doesn't have no rules that's in your favor. It has it's a different culture. It's a different culture. You know, I had written down in my notes, because I was meditating on this. Say any place that's not yours, the rules or law is not in your favor to prosper you or keep you holy. Um, you know, you know, as you can see, those that are woke, we're in a land that's not ours. You know, we're in a land that's not ours, totally not ours. Um, you go back in history, our ancestors were took in here. You know, um, the west coast of Africa, Spain, East Africa, Southeast Africa, you name it. Um, and you know, we're in a land that's not ours. You know, the rules are not in our favor. Um, the laws are not in our favor, and it's really basically set up to really keep us in sin, keep us, operating unrighteously. You know, and those that are woke and know what's going on, know that these things are taking place. And I just wanted to read Jeremiah 10. And this is a word, to his people. Jeremiah 10, because it's all connected. The things that the Most High tell us to stay away from, all of it is connected to Nimrod and the beast system. You know, it's connected. It's connected to that beast system. And many would call, many would say, it's really connected to Satan and the enemy. The big enemy. To keep you in sin. You know what I'm saying? Once you operate in sin, you out of the grace of the Most High Yah. And also it leaves an open door for you to be judged, for judgment to take place. So it's like trickery. Like, you're being tricked into you know, going into the ways that's against the Most High Yah for you to be judged, because the Most High Yah is a creator or a spirit being of Elohim of judgment. So, once you start operating in sin, operating in the ways that's against the Most High, that opens the door for judgment. That opens the door for Hasatan to go before the Most High and blame you, and show what you're doing, in order for judgment to fall upon you. So it's all a big trickery. You got to understand what's going on. I'm going to read from Jeremiah 10. We're going to read from Jeremiah 10. Um, and this is the word unto Israel, as a whole. Jeremiah 10, verse 1. O house of Israel, thus says the Most High Yah, learn not the way of the heathen, and do not and be not dismayed at the signs of heaven, for the heathen are dismayed at them. And it's a few clippings I'm gonna show. Um, um, Breaking down certain symbols and stuff like that. How certain things are tied in to the ways of Nimrod, the ways of the beast. And how it's all tied in. What they're still using the same tactics today and all over the world. These same tactics are still being implemented, or still being used. I might per se. And you hear the Most High saying, "Learn not the ways of the heathen, and do not be dismayed. Don't be amazed by it. Don't be carried off by it. You know what I'm saying? Because these are the things that they're amazed by. You know what I'm saying? And let's go down to verse 3 where it says, for the custom of the people are in vain. It has no meaning. Like, it's meaningless. You know what I'm saying? Like it's worthless. You know what I'm saying? And as you can see, we go down further. It says, for the custom of the people are vain. For one cutteth out a tree in the forest, and work of the hands of the workmen with the axe. They deck it with silver and with gold. They fasten it with nails, with hammers, so it move not. Plainly, as you can see, this is Most High Yah is speaking against these pagan holidays. One major is Christmas. Um, it's mainly it's pointing out the origin of Christmas, where Christmas came from, and all that stuff is all pagan. You know, and these are all the ways of the heathen. Um, I got a couple clips. I want to go into and I want to share because we gotta back it up with evidence. But before we even share it, I'm really gonna go to fair use because this is for educational purposes. It's for educational purposes. So we don't wanna give them room for that. You don't want to give them room for that. Yeah, we don't want to give him no grounds, you know, to even, you know, because this is for educational purposes only. Y'all bear with me. Y'all bear with me. Y'all bear with me. Here it go right here. Okay. All right, here it go. I'm gonna make it large. All right. I'm gonna make it large. Um, yeah, we gonna use this for that. All right, disclaimer, copyright disclaimer under section 107 of the Copyright Act of 1976. Allowance is made for fair use for purposes such as criticism, comments, news reporting, teaching, scholarships, education, and research. Fair use is a use permitted by copyright statute for that might otherwise be infringing. So we just read out the disclaimer for you know any any copyright disclaimer or anything like that. We just read that out. This is for teaching purpose only. Teaching purpose only. Um, but after that, we're gonna go right back into the lesson. Y'all bear with me. Go right back into the lesson because we just read in Jeremiah 10 where the Most High was saying, "Do not be dismayed of the ways of the heathen." Right. So let's go back into it. We're gonna play a clip, about Christmas and the the paganism behind it. We're gonna run a clip because we want to back it on up. We don't want to, we don't make claims and don't have facts behind it. Bear with me. Y'all see how the enemy working, trying to work, but he can't stop this lesson, y'all. He trying to stop the lesson, but he can't stop it though.
Ground, and by 1656, after only 4 short years under the ban, the public's demand for the legalization of Christ's Mass had become insurmountable. The appointment of Charles II to the throne
All right,
restored.
y'all. This is it's about Christmas. We were just talking about this, right? So this is just a clip showing the origin of Christmas. Cause we just read in Jeremiah 10, where Most High was saying that these are the ways of the heathen. So as you can see, that the heathen ways are all over the world, because everybody all over the world celebrate Christmas. You know, and they try to tie it in. You see how they try to tie it into the Bible, with Yeshua, with Yeshua saying that he was born on this day, and this is the reason why they celebrate that. But you see, that's the trick of the enemy. That's what he do. He mix things. He mix good and evil. He mix things up. He mix the truth with a lie. So you gotta recognize and discern the two. Once you the truth shall set you free. That's what the Messiah said. That's what Yeshua said. So once you learn the truth, it's gonna set you free from all these stuff that the Most High is against. All these paganistic stuff, all these things that we ain't supposed to be involved in. So we gonna play this clip. You know, you know, you know, learn how they incorporate and learn the real true meaning of this. The real meaning of where they came from. Always supposed to study where things come from.
More than half their yearly income during this period. The process of gift giving, once thought to have come from the story of the wise men who offered gifts to the newborn Christ, has evolved into the buying frenzy we see today during the month of December. But what about the other Christmas traditions? Have you ever wondered why we decorate the Christmas tree? Why we light the Yule log? Why we hang the mistletoe? And why we teach our children to believe in Santa Claus? In the next hour, you will discover the true origins of Christmas. You may be surprised or
And remember, right there in verse 10, why they, see, I see speaking about it, right? Right there in verse 10, and on chapter 10, where the Most High saying right there, he said, "For the custom of the people are vain, for they cut the tree out of the forest and work it the hands of the workman with the axe. They deck it with silver and gold, and they fashion it with nails, with nails and with hammers, that it move not, that it may not move." So we seeing clearly the Most High is speaking about this Christmas thing, but we're gonna let the clip play out.
even shocked to learn the source of your favorite holiday traditions. Chances are you'll never look at Christmas the same ever again. In the Northern Hemisphere during late December, the days are at their shortest lengths and the nights are at their longest. For those of the pagan world, this has always been the greatest time of the year to celebrate and practice the works of darkness. The pagan calendar identifies this period as the winter solstice. It was during the pre-Christian midwinter pagan celebrations of Scandinavia's Norsemen where today's Christmas traditions began. As a means of honoring the pagan sex and fertility god Yule, a 12-day celebration during the month of December was inaugurated. A large single log considered to be a phallic idol was lit on fire and kept burning for 12 days. Animal or human sacrifices were offered in the fire on each of those days. Wild, delirious reveling accompanied the daily sacrifices as drunken participants defiantly strove to make contact with spirits. 1,000 miles away in pre-Christian Rome, celebrants were paying homage to their own gods during the winter solstice. Witchcraft traditions hold that a number of pagan gods were given birth during this period, including Dionysus, Attis, and Baal, chief male god of fertility and licentiousness. Another pagan god from Persia, identified as Mithra, was said to have been born specifically on December 25th. Mithra was the god of the unconquerable sun, the god of the light between heaven and earth, worshipped at that time by an influential Roman cult. His birth symbolized an end to the long nights and a return to the dominance of the sun. During the month-long winter solstice celebration, courts in Rome were closed. Any and all crimes were allowed. Homosexuality, cross-dressing, and was turned upside down. Even children were allowed to join in the drunken orgies as part of the Juvenalia celebration. By 270 AD, the Roman Emperor Aurelian had made it official, setting aside a culminating
Yeah,
in
as you can see, I'm go back in the verses. You can see clearly what the Most High is speaking against this thing. Now, you know, you can see clearly it said, "Learn not." He said, "Learn not the way of the heathen, and do not be dismayed at the signs of heaven, for the heathen are dismayed at them. These are not our customs. These are not our customs. These customs came from the heathens. These are not our customs. These has nothing to do with with the Most High. This has nothing to do with holy scriptures. This has nothing to do with righteousness. It has nothing to do with that. As you can see, it has nothing to do with that. And as you can see, clearly they're allowing their children to be involved with these orgies and stuff like that. See, in the book of Jasher, it speaks about because Sodom and Gomorrah came from the kingdom of Nimrod. And in the book of Jasher, chapter 18, at the 11th verse through the 15th verse, it speaks about Sodom and Gomorrah, and they had a swingers location in their city where they would meet up 4 times a year. We're gonna get that. We're gonna get to that scripture to back it on up. That's why you need to don't listen to what people tell you. You have to search these lost books. Why was they taken out? I keep pointing back to that. Why were they taken out? You know, read, learn to read, learn to open your mind and read. Stop listening to what people telling you, and see what and allow the Holy Spirit to lead you. You know, and and guide you, because that's what the Holy Spirit was left here from through Yeshua, the Mashiach. And we're gonna read the book of Jasher. Many call it Jasher. Many call it Jasher. We're gonna read the book of Jasher. And I wanna hit on 2 points. And how you know who Nimrod is, where they came from. And Cush, the son of Ham, this is the book of Jasher, right? The book of Jasher. This is the 7th chapter. We're gonna read from the 23rd verse. We just gonna break down the origin of Nimrod, who he came from, who he was. Because Nimrod was would be what you would call today an African, but he would be from Cush, the son of Ham. And Cush, the son of Ham, the son of Noah, took a wife in those days in his old age, and she bare a son. And they call him the name Nimrod, saying that that time the sons of men again began to what? Rebel and transgress against the Most High Yah. You notice the name. Why would he give him a name like that? And he gave him the very name, that the very name that the meaning of it, the very name and the meaning of it is what exactly what his son did. He rebelled and he transgressed against the Most High Yah. You know, and the child grew up, and his father loved him exceedingly, for he was the son of his old age. And the garments of skin which Yah had made for Adam and his wife when they went out in the gardens were given to who? Cush. For after the death of Adam, his wife, the garments were given unto Enoch, the son of Jared. And when Enoch was taken up to Yah, he gave them to Methuselah, his son. And at the death of Methuselah, Noah took them and brought them to the ark, and they were with him until he went out of the ark. And in their going out, Ham stole those garments from Noah, his father, and he took them and he hid them from his brothers. And when Ham begat his first son, Cush, he gave him the garments in secret, and they were with Cush many days. Verse 29. And Cush also concealed them from his sons and brothers. And when Cush had begotten Nimrod, he gave him those garments through his love for him. And Nimrod grew up, and when he was 20 years old, he put on those garments. And Nimrod became strong. And when he put on the garments, Yah gave him might and strength, and he was a mighty hunter in the earth, and he was a mighty hunter in the field, and he hunted animals and built altars, and he offered them the animals before the Most High Yah. And Nimrod strengthened himself, and he rose up amongst his brethren, and he fought the battles of his brethren against all the enemies around about. Everything around him, they fought him, they conquered him. And the Most High Yah delivered all the enemies of his brethren in his hands. And the Most High Yah prospered him from time to time in his battles, and he reigned upon earth. You see, and you have to understand. See, it sounds so similar to just like Hasatan. Hasatan was with the Most High Yah at first, right? Doing all this good, you know what I'm saying? And then he rebelled, you know what I'm saying? And we gonna go to still in chapter 7. We're gonna go to the 46th verse. We're gonna go to the 46th verse. As you can see, that's the history of Nimrod. Nimrod was an African. In all the earth, and all this is verse 46. And all the earth was of one tongue and the words of union, but Nimrod did not go in the ways of what? He did not go in the ways of Yah. And he was what? More wicked than all the men that were before him. See, that's why when the first beginning of it, if you notice what I said, in the first beginning in the notes. The kingdom of Nimrod was the first kingdom to what? To rebel against Yah, the creator of heaven and the earth from time to time, from the times of Babel until now. This beast system is still around, especially in Europe, Egypt, and the Americas. You got to understand. See what it said? Verse 46. And all the earth was of what? One tongue, in the words of union. I mean one. Union mean one. But Nimrod did not go in the ways of the Most High Yah. And he was what? More wicked than all the men that were before him from the days of what? From the days of the flood until those days. That means all the way up until now. Verse 47. And he made what? Gods of wood and stone, and he bowed down to them, and he rebelled against the Most High Yah, and taught all his subjects and the people of the earth his wicked ways. And Mardon, his son, was more wicked than his father. And everyone that heard of the acts of Mardon, the son of Nimrod, would say concerning him, from wicked goes forth wickedness. Wicked produce wicked. This guy produced a whole bunch of wickedness. And it's still around today. It's still around in America. It's still around with this Christian paganism. It's still around with a whole bunch of things. Let's go back to verse 47. And he made what? Gods of wood and stone and bowed down to them. And he what? Rebelled against the Most High Yah. And he taught all the subjects and all the people of the earth his wicked ways. It's still around. It's still going around. And we're gonna break this thing down. We're gonna go into another segment, another clip. Because all of it is connected. All of it is connected. So y'all just bear with me. Y'all bear with me. We're gonna break this thing down. Y'all bear with me. We're gonna go into because the Sumerian religion is all tied to Nimrod. Everything they do is all tied to Nimrod. And the many beliefs is all tied to Nimrod. So y'all bear with me now. Bear with me. 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 So as you can see, the paganism in Christmas. You can see the paganism in Christmas and how it's totally wicked. You always gotta check the origin of stuff, man. Always. Y'all bear with me. Bear with me. Y'all see how the enemy through the lesson. That says the Most High, yeah, we gonna come through it. We gonna come through with it. The Most High Yah is in control. The Most High Yah is in control of everything. The Most High Yah, he's in control. He's in control. Can't fight against the Most High Yah. He run things. He run things. Come on with it. Come on with it. Come on with it.
It also was the
Invite
basis
me,
for
y'all.
many of
Invite
their
me, y'all.
laws.
But the Most High Yah
Long after the Sumerian language ceased to be spoken in day-to-day life.
Sumerian religion, but it's all tied to Nimrod. It's all tied to Nimrod, the kingdom of Nimrod. All tied to Nimrod and the Babylonian system.
Sumerian religion thrived among the newer peoples who entered Mesopotamia. The Akkadians, Amorites, Assyrians, Kassites. Whoever permanently settled in this land, for the most part, adopted the deities and basic tenets of Sumerian religion without too many fundamentals.
Hold on. See, you see the moon, the crescent moon, the sun, all that. It's all one. The Egyptians believe in the same thing. And matter of fact, the Egyptians are the same people. They're one family with Nimrod. The Egyptians. So this is the same belief system. And then the Most High said that he was gonna send us to what? Egypt #2 in ships. So for my woke ones that know what's going on, you can see the tie-ins, man. The tie-ins, man. Nimrod system is the beast system, but it's the creator of it, and the person that the forerunner is Hasatan. You know, he had his works through Nimrod. And this is his system.
For these and many other reasons, Understanding Sumerian religion is so important for comprehending the great civilization that flourished in the land that we today call Mesopotamia. So, without further ado, let's begin. Whatever the true origin of the Sumerians may be, most scholars agree that they adopted a great deal from cultures and civilizations that existed in Mesopotamia before their arrival over 5,000 years ago. Our knowledge of Mesopotamian religious practices and morality come from a variety of texts that include epic tales, myths, rituals, hymns, prayers, seals, and inscriptions left behind by various kings and other rulers. The earliest of these
And Mesopotamia is just the area of Nimrod. That's Nimrod area. They don't want to say it. That's just the area of Babylon. But that just education for people that don't know.
these come from the period we call the early dynastic period of Sumer, which are the years roughly between 2900 to 2350 BCE. Of course, Sumerian religion goes back much further, but those are the years from which we start to see a lot of written and other archaeological evidence that allow us to get a more comprehensive picture of their religious beliefs and practices. For the most part, the Sumerians were polytheistic, meaning that they believed in many deities in the forms of gods, goddesses, and various spirits. These deities were responsible for various aspects of creation, whether it be the rising and setting of the sun, waxing and waning of the moon, rain and weather, love and war, or really any natural phenomenon or emotion. For all of these things that are associated with it. To help explain how these divine beings and the universe operated, the Sumerians had many myths where the gods and goddesses were superstars in some sort of cosmic play. They lived in a spiritual world that was in many ways different from our world.
Hit the word. You heard the word. Hit the word superstar. Hit the word superstar. They use that word over here in America. Superstar. It's all under the beast system, the Babylonian system, the system of Nimrod. And the head is Hasatan, Satan.
In many ways a replica of the human society of Sumer. Like those of ancient Greece, these gods and goddesses had their own unique personalities and were very similar to human beings in their appearance and temperament. The difference, of course, was that they had supernatural powers and were immortal. Well, most of them were. Occasionally, you did have a few gods or goddesses fight and kill each other, with the loser turning into some sort of natural phenomenon, like a constellation or a river. Just like in human society, the deities of ancient Mesopotamia were not all of equal status. At the lowest rung of the ladder were various spirits, which could be either helpful like angels or harmful like demons. Above these were deities that were in charge of nature or various trades, such as gods of the wind or those who protected blacksmiths. There were also gods.
And you see how all these different gods or what they say goddesses, they're doing nothing but really dealing with fallen angels and demons, lying spirits. These spirits take you away from worshiping the creator of heaven and earth, the most high Yah. you know, acknowledging that the Most High Yah sent his the second Adam, which is Yeshua. The Mashiach, the Messiah. All of these things take you away from the connection. It takes you away from being righteous. It deters you, man, and it's evil, it's wicked, man. And these are the very things the Most High was warning us to stay away from. All of these things are all connected, man. When the children of Israel kept going off astray and going off the other gods, this is what the Most High was speaking of. You know, I want to read to you Jeremiah. Go to Jeremiah. Go to Jeremiah 11. Right. Jeremiah 11. We're gonna start at the first verse, Jeremiah 11. And then this is the word of the Most High Yah. This is Most High Yah speaking to Jeremiah concerning these things. You know, what was going on. The word the word of the Most High Yah came to Jeremiah saying these things. Hear the words of this covenant, and speak unto them to the men of Judah and to the inhabitants of Jerusalem, and say unto them thus this, that the Most High Yah of Israel said this: Cursed be the man that obeyeth not the words of this covenant, which I command your fathers in the day that I brought them forth out of the land of who? Egypt, from the iron furnace, saying, Obey my voice and do them, according to which I have commanded you. So you shall be my people, and I will be your Yah. You gotta understand, man. We were just speaking earlier that Egypt is connected. Egypt is one family with Cush. Egypt is one family with Nimrod. See, when Mosai took our people out of Egypt, they was learning the ways of the heathen. They were learning the ways of Nimrod, basically, because it was the same system in Egypt. It was the same setup in Egypt. So Mosai was trying to strip us away from those things. Every time we fail, every time we fail, didn't want to listen, we would go into we would go into slavery. We would go into the punishment, and captivity was a punishment. From the Most High Yah, cause we ain't want to listen. Disobedience is the same as what? Witchcraft. So these are the things the Most High was trying to strip us away from. You know, and just educational purpose.
Gods and goddesses associated with animals and their protection. After this were the gods and goddesses of the netherworld, such as Nergal or Erishkigal. Then there were gods associated with war, such as Ninurta, followed by gods and goddesses of astrophenomenon, such as the sun, moon, and stars. These deities, such as Nana and Shamash, were considered to be very powerful since they controlled natural phenomenon whose operation at the time was incomprehensible to humans. At the top of the Sumerian hierarchy were the three great gods of An, Enlil, and Enki. An was the god of the sky and was believed to have been
All of it's tied in. All is tied into the system of Nimrod. It's the beast system of our system, like the Romans, people in Europe, people in Egypt, most definitely, because they're one family, um, and the Americas. They no disrespect, but they follow this system. They all up under the system, and they follow it heavy.
the sky, was believed to have been the most powerful of all. His main temple was in the city of Uruk, and like Zeus of ancient Greece, he was the father of many other gods and goddesses. He was also somewhat aloof, at least in the affairs of humans.
I guess when
I
you're
guess when
ruling
you're
the
ruling
entire
the entire
universe,
universe,
you really don't
have time to take upon the requests and appeals of the common folk.
His symbol
His
was the
symbol
star.
was the star.
In the Akkadian
In the
language,
Akkadian language,
he's
he's called Anu. An's son Enlil, though, was different. He took a more active part in the world of humans, and for this reason, he was often invoked by kings and commoners alike. His name means Lord Air, and he's associated with life and breath. His role was to keep order in the world. It was also he who bestowed kingship on an individual and gave them legitimacy. Enlil was arguably the most important of all of the gods. One hymn to the god describes him as such, and I quote, "Without Enlil, the great mountain, no city would be built, no settlement founded, no stalls would be built, no sheepfolds established, no king would be raised, no high priest born. The rivers, their floodwaters would not bring overflow. The fish in the sea would not lay eggs in the canebrake. The birds of heaven would not build nests on the wild earth. In heaven, the drifting clouds would not yield their moisture. Plants and herbs, the glory of the plain, would fail to grow. In fields and meadows, the rich grain would fail to flower. The trees planted in the mountain forest would not yield their fruit." So as you can see, Enlil was an extremely important god. Possibly the most beloved god to the Sumerians was Enki. That was his Sumerian name, but in Akkadian, he was called Ea. He was the god of rivers, lakes, wells, basically any source of fresh water. Something, of course, that was so vital to life in the arid deserts of Mesopotamia. He was also known for his intelligence.
And that's so crazy. See, and this right here ties into the Marine Kingdom. Those of you not aware of the Marine Kingdom, I will be doing a lesson on the Marine Kingdom coming up soon, via time or whatever. Bless the Most High that He give me the opportunity. But yeah, this connects to the Marine Kingdom and all. If you're not familiar with that, you could pull up Mammy Waters or Lady of Lakes, and even the Statue of Liberty. It connects to the Marine Kingdom, Lady of Lakes. So yeah, this is very informative to how all the origins goes back to the kingdom of Nimrod. And once again, Nimrod was from Ham. He was from the lineage of Ham, through the lineage of Cush. All of it goes back to Ham, and Ham was an African, a Hamite, and even the Egyptians, they all come from the lineage of Ham, so they're all one big family. Do you understand what's going on?
The patron of the sciences, technology, and the arts. Interestingly, he was also the patron of magicians. So perhaps what we'd call science was seen as a form of magic in ancient times. Now, I mentioned that he was especially.
Remember, the Egyptians, they used to do magic and comedic science, comedic science. Remember that comedic science. Come on, it all ties in. You can't make this up, man. And the Romans got all their ideas from the Egyptians. Also the Greeks, the Greek mythology and all of that is one same thing, and it all ties goes back to the beast system of Nimrod, and the top guy is Hasatan, Satan. Can't make this up, bro.
Especially beloved by the people of Mesopotamia because, unlike some of the other deities, Enki seemed to have been the god who did his best to look out for men and women. For example, it was he who saved mankind from the Great Flood, the same one that's mentioned in the book of Genesis. He also aided man and taught him how to use the resources of the world, such as cattle, for farming. Overall, he was a pretty good god to have on your side. Another extremely popular god was Nana, known as Sin or Suin in Akkadian. He also has another name, Enzu, meaning Lord of Wisdom. Appropriately, he's a god that's associated with divination and astronomy. Archaeologists have dug up
You see the
hundreds,
word
perhaps.
sin? Come on, why would you even associate with something that's named sin when you know the Most High is totally against sin itself? Don't even want to look upon sin. So you can see the ideology and the origins of where how it all ties in. And these are the beliefs of these are beliefs in the Americas, these are the beliefs in Europe. These are the same system and beliefs, that the Europes follow, the Americas, um, Egypt, Palestine. This is the very beliefs that the Most High is against. This is the very beliefs that the Most High was warning the children of Israel about. Open your eyes and see what's going on.
Thousands of hymns and prayers to Nana, especially in his native or patron city of Ur. Utu, known as Shamash in Akkadian, is the son of the moon god Nana and also the god of the sun. He's associated with justice and fair play. In fact, he's the god that you see on the famous stele of the Babylonian king Hammurabi, towering above his.
You see how it's all time back to Babylon? Do you see? You see how it's all tying on to time back to Babylon. I can't make this up. In the museum of where? Paris. Can't make this up, bro. Cannot make this up. They all follow this system. Now, we're gonna end this clip. We're gonna jump into another one. We're gonna jump into another one. But before we even jump into that, we're gonna back it on up with scriptures. We're gonna go into book of Yashar again. Gonna go into the book of Yashar again. We're gonna see. We're gonna see what's going on and what the origins of certain things, where they came from. Like why was they why was they where they came from, how it started, how it all begun, how it all begun. Let's get into it. Let's get into it. Let's get into it. We're going in the book of Yashar. I'm gonna break this thing on down, This is how the Most High was showing me some things. How, what they was doing. This is the Most High. The Most High was showing me some things, what they was doing. We're going to turn to, in the book of Yashar, chapter 18, verse 11. Verse 11. We're in the book of Yashar, chapter 18. I'm going to start at verse 11. And this is talking about Sodom and Gomorrah, right? What they used to do, right? Sodom and Gomorrah came from the kingdom of Nimrod. Understand, they was from out of the kingdom of Nimrod. So they were also African. And they was a part of that Hamite family, Hamitic family. And this is the book of Yashar. In those days, the book of Yashar, chapter 18, we'll start 11th verse. And in those days, all the people of Sodom and Gomorrah and of the whole 5 cities were exceedingly wicked and sinful against the Most High Yah. And they provoked the Most High Yah with their abominations, and they strengthened in aiding abominably and scornfully before the Most High Yah, and their wickedness and crimes in those days was great before the Most High Yah. The Most High couldn't stand it. And they lay and they had in their land a very extensive valley, about half a day's a walk, and in it there were fountains of water and a great deal of herbage surrounding the water. All the people of Sodom and Gomorrah went there 4 times in the year with their wives and children and all belonging to them, and they rejoiced with their timbrels and dances. Oh, but it sounds familiar. I ain't gonna say what it sounds like, but I'm gonna say it in the end. So you can see they was dancing and carrying on, right? All of them met up together in that valley, right? 14th verse. And in the time of rejoicing, they would all rise and lay hold of what their neighbors' wives and some of the virgin daughters of their neighbors. And they enjoyed them. Enjoyed them mean they was having sexual pleasures with them. Let's just be real. They enjoyed them, and each man saw his what? His wives and daughters in the hands of what? His neighbor, and did not say a word. Whoa. And they did so from what? Morning to night. And they afterward returned home, each man to his house, and each woman to her tent. So they always did 4 times in the year. Mm. You see what's going on with Sodom and Gomorrah? Don't it sound like a swingers party? This don't sound like a big orgy. You see what I'm saying? This don't sound like a big orgy to you? Okay. So if you don't, let's just slide into this clip right here. Slide into this clip right here. Slide into this clip right here. Slide into this clip right here, huh? See, this was Sodom and Gomorrah were doing. I'm pretty sure that all of them probably was doing it. Sounds like a swingers club. Like they was having the swingers orgy, right? Sound like they was having one big orgy, right? That's what it sounds like to me. That's what it sounds like to me. Mm-hmm. That's what it sounds like to me. I don't know what it sounds like to you. All right. We're gonna go into this clipping right here. I don't know why they keep trying to give me trouble, but y'all can't stop nothing. We're gonna go into this clip right here. I just read to you in the book of Yashar about Sodom and Gomorrah, how they would meet up in their valley and have orgies. You know, each neighbors would enjoy each other wives and daughters and all kinds of stuff was going on. Right? Sodom and Gomorrah came from the kingdom of Nimrod. Remember that, right? All their ties and goes back to Nimrod. And it's the same system that the Americas are following, Egypt, Europe's, you name it. You name it. We're gonna slide into this clipping right here. See? And we don't worry about it. We know the enemy trying to block it, but he can't stop the message. Can't stop the message. Because this message will go forward. This message will go forward in the name of Yah. Can't stop this message. It will come forward. we gonna wait on it. But yeah, well, I just read to you, man. These are the origins, man. This where it all comes from, you know. And it's just being this is a informative message.
It's a young and restless. We're going to meet some couples
The
who
ways
say
of the
their
heathen
unions are
from
more
and where it
secure
comes from.
and more honest
You gotta
because they
understand.
don't believe in monogamy. They swear that the secret to staying together is not having secrets at all.
Oh, I have been dying to wear this skirt. I bought
The
it
young
a while
and the
ago, I've just
restless.
been
We're going to
wanting
meet some
wear it.
couples who say their unions are more secure
sexy
and more
guests
honest.
are all dressing to impress for a top secret invitation-only party. They're all in committed relationships, but tonight they're hoping to hook up with the other partygoers. They're swingers who find passion with strangers.
We're excited.
Yes, we're finally here.
Our story begins 2 years ago with these two curious couples, Janelle and Stevens,
And there's stuff that people do that we want to try. So did you see that? You think we can?
Yeah,
try
sometimes
that?
we take pictures.
and Michael and Sarah.
How did this all start for you?
We made a bet for the Super Bowl, and if the Patriots won, I got a threesome with another guy, and if the Giants won,
I got a threesome with another girl, obviously.
and needless to say, the Giants won.
Call me old-fashioned, but isn't there something odd about seeing your mate with somebody else? Mating?
I mean, we're not really the jealous type. Like, we believe that sharing is caring.
Welcome to behind closed doors.
Attending a posh swingers party like this is a first for both our couples. And here, the partygoers are strictly VIP. They've been carefully selected by event hosts behind closed doors based on attractiveness and age. The younger, the better. New Jersey couple Michael and Sarah have been together for years.
We met online,
Yeah.
which was, I think, new for both of us.
Half the way through our relationship, this is when we really started exploring this. And it's great.
There's no turning back from here.
Yeah.
We love it. We love what we do. We love our weekends together.
They do full swaps, which means going all the way. But some things they keep for themselves.
The first rule is no kissing, because kissing is very intimate to us.
That we finish with each other, I guess, would be the nicest way to say it.
Janelle, a property manager, and Stevens, a DJ, say they lead sort of a double life.
Private life should be private. I mean, doing something like this, I'm not going to go to work and say, guess what I did this weekend? But there's no shame.
They're into soft swapping, which means everything but full intercourse.
It's like guys with their favorite cars. You let someone else drive it. You're like, hey, you can drive the car. You feel how smooth the ride is. But that's my car.
That's a good analogy.
Both couples are part of a dramatic shift in attitudes about what it means to be in a committed relationship. One recent study shows 41% of couples are open to the idea of having multiple sex partners. And apps like Tinder and OkCupid make finding exactly what you're looking for, whether you're single or a couple, easier than ever.
This is swing school. And swing school is how we welcome beginners into the lifestyle.
Before the party starts, rules are laid out. Single women or couples are allowed, but no men flying solo. The price of admission? $200. It's all perfectly legal. Everyone is a consenting adult, and everyone, they say, practices safe sex. And these seasoned swingers share some advice with our couples.
Jealousy is not an issue because if there is jealousy, the lifestyle is not for you.
You are jealous, then you have that fear that you're going to lose someone.
Yeah.
And I think individually, we're the best we're going to.
The room gets darker, the mood sexier. Mike and Sarah have now scoped out the room.
There's an Asian woman here. Sarah was looking at, and then I kind of agreed to it also. So they got the girls together finally. we're going to take this to the next step, I believe.
They start to get frisky, kissing each other, hoping to get things started. It quickly gets a little too sexy for our cameras, so we retreat to our own private interview suite, where couples swing by to let us know what's going on up there.
But you hooked up, meaning what? What happened?
Sarah and I
So as you can see, I can't
commandeered
make
one
this
of the
up.
couches,
And,
and
you
then
know, there's
somebody
nothing
else
new
came
under the
over. And
sun.
So she started kissing you,
Everything has an
had
ancient
sex
origin.
with the other
And,
woman, and
you know, a lot
you
of
had sex with the other
things
man?
that the
Yes,
Most
a lot
High,
of
you know,
older
He
people, like their
wanting us
families
not
are
to do
very traditional.
or
Things
partake
are
of.
not the way
You
they
know,
used to
it's
be.
For
totally
Janelle and
wicked.
Stevens, the party
Totally
wasn't exactly
against
what they were
His
hoping
ways.
for, but
It's
the
totally
night is still
unrighteous,
young.
not right.
What happens between the two of you when you get home?
You know, and I can't make this up. You know, these are things that the Most High pointed out to me that are all a part of the beast system. You know, so um I'm gonna end this session out. Gonna end this session out with a prayer. You know, all praises to the Most High Yah. Father Yah, I pray, Father Yah, that this message shall reach whoever need to be, reach the ones that you want, you know, that you have kept, you know, for this particular time. Father Yah, I pray, Father Yah, that it may educate, the Holy Ruach, may the Holy Ruach educate, and bring awareness, and you know, wake the people up to you know, just the ways of Babylon, Father Yah. And may it bring repentance, Father Yah. May it bring people back to you, Father Yah. This is what this message is about, Father Yah. All of you, Father Yah, and none of me, Father Yah. For I do not glorify myself, but it's you, Father Yah, who showed me these things, Father Yah, to show it to the people, Father Yah. So I pray, Father Yah, that your will be done in this message, Father Yah. And Father Yah, we pray, Father Yah, and we honor, Father Yah, your son, Father Yah, the Messiah, Father Yah, the second Adam, Father Yah. In the name of our ancestors, our forefathers, Father Yah, Abraham, Isaac, and Yakuba, Father Yah. We say hallelujah, Father Yah, to your name, Father Yah, Barakatah, Father Yah. And we say, Father Yah, that you are our Father who art in heaven. Holy is your name, Father Yah. Thy kingdom come, Father Yah. Thy will be done, Father Yah, on earth as is in heaven. Give us this day, Father Yah, our daily bread, Father Yah. And forgive us our trespasses, Father Yah, as we forgive those who trespass against us, Father Yah. And lead us not into temptation, Father Yah, but deliver us from all tricks and schemes from the evil ones, Father Yah. For you are the power, Father Yah, the glory, Father Yah. For you are the power, the glory, and all the kingdom, Father Yah. You are the kingdom, Father Yah, the power and all the glory, Father Yah, forever and ever, Father Yah. In the name of your Son, Yeshua, Father Yah, in the name of my forefathers, Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. We say hallelujah, Barakatah. So shall it be done. Yeah, so I pray you guys join with me, you know, next time for another lesson. And all praises be to Yah. All praises be to Yah.